Hi, this is Shirish Kulkarni, founder and CEO of Stroth Consultech, which is into business consulting, helping small and medium businesses to succeed and grow for last 5 years. And with this initiative called as Hatke, we're talking to various leadership, various personalities, various business owners and individuals who have mattered in various organizations, institutions, like even education institutions. And we have a great privilege to have an innovative person, a person who is having his own initiative and a rigor to do things differently. Dr. Sanjay Poekar. Thank you, Doctor, for taking time and joining this initiative.
Thank you, Shirish Kulkarni ji. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak out. It's a good initiative. I would like to share my experiences. And once again, I will say this is a disclaimer. Let me put a disclaimer. I am talking in my capacity as an individual, and it is not much related to the institutions where I am serving or where I have been serving. But then experiences are experiences, and I will be very frank with you while sharing the experience. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think with this context setting, uh, Sanjay ji, and whatever interactions that we have had, I found you always thinking differently. Let it be a social dimension, let it be education dimension, let it be students around you, let it be a musical program. So, how do you manage this innovative or creative dimension of yourself?
I believe in philosophy called as sincere, dynamic, and proactive. Incidentally, my initials are SDP.
Okay,
So S stands for sincere, D stands for dynamic, and P stands for proactive.
okay,
So my belief is if you are sincere in any activity which is given to you, the employers or you yourself is satisfied at the end of the day that I have sincerely tried something. Then comes the dynamism. Dynamism is also very important because we have to overcome the problems which we face. And we cannot keep running the business, even the education, in the same way as it was in earlier years. So we have to be proactive, we have to think differently, we have to uh, think about best practices which are being done in the best institutions across the world. So proactiveness will also help us. So these three dimensions, if we are having in our personality, then you will be getting a satisfaction, and world will also feel that you have done something as the to know justice to the job which has been given. That's
wonderful.
what my
Superb, superb. And I was just going through the profile that you have. You have an engineering background, and you are doing a lot of research connected with management, connecting management with some
let me speak on this. I am basically an engineering graduate. I have worked for industry, but not for many years. But then I
Mhm.
have been there in academia for a long time. Majority of my lifespan was spent with BIT Pilani and its associated institution. And for last 3 years, I am working with Symbiosis International Deemed University. Now I am a educational administrator. I take care of the research programs of Symbiosis. Though I am engineering guy, I take care of the programs of law, management, engineering, humanities. And at times I also feel, how can I do all these things? The basic principles of research are same everywhere. And in fact, the research is no longer limited to any discipline per se. Truly speaking, the world is interested in solving the problems which they are facing. So I believe that we must engage ourselves into transformational or translational research. And translational research is not limited to engineering, technology, or management. So we have to basically bring the concepts of variety of fields to solve the problems which are helpful to the society. So that is how I have
Mm.
adjusted myself. Though I am an engineering guy, everybody thinks that sometimes I am engineering guy, sometimes I am a managerial guy. I have even learned biotechnology to a great extent by listening to others because of the long experience of so many years.
Right. Actually, it is a great combination of being having multiple disciplines before you become a management either guru or management person who is preaching or following management. I believe That's in fact is a very good strength that you have, and even if you go in corporate, I think that is looked at extremely important dimension. And now coming back to the students that you are dealing with, in this pandemic that we have, where there is no way that we can travel. So how are you managing things without the students? You must be feeling missing them, right?
Yeah, yeah, we are missing the students. Personal interaction with the student is always welcome. So our job is to motivate the. I am taking care of the PhD student by and large, but I have been involved in postgraduate education, undergraduate education,
Mm-hmm.
and when the students are in front of us, we get some extra energy. Now, when they
Right.
are not in front of us, we also feel demotivated.
Ah, ah.
But then I would say, and I have been listening to various personalities during the pandemic, even the educational leaders from AICT, UGC, the FICCI people have been talking to educators that this pandemic is giving us an opportunity to think differently.
Mm.
And in fact, let me draw one attention to one of the aspects. See, earlier also, best of the institutions across the world, they were putting their educational ideas on the web platform. Open source educational things were put by MIT Boston.
Mm.
Then even National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning (NPTEL) had put their videos, lectures of the best of the teachers on the video platform. But we were not bothered about it because
Mm.
our philosophy was that no, the students would think that I will go to my class, I will listen to my teacher, and so there was a one-to-one interaction. Now, by force or because of the pandemic, we have been exposed to the world, and it's a blessing in disguise, I would say.
Mm.
Best of the faculty members who can give a very authoritative talk on a particular topic. They are, they are open in this pandemic situation to share their knowledge.
Mm.
And sitting at home, and you might be a student of a very small institution. You might be a student of a institution which is there in a rural area, and a personality from Mumbai or even from overseas is not. It's not feasible for that person to travel, but he's available at your doorstep at the convenience of your time, and you can learn from the people, best of the academicians across the world, sitting at home. That is the opportunity this pandemic has given. So, in fact, I would say uh, this is a great opportunity the situation has given to us, and we must take full benefit of the opportunity. So, it's
Right, right.
a positive way we can look at it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I heard that you already started taking video lectures and classes have
Yeah,
started remotely operating.
yeah. Our institution have taken classes on video basis. Even some assignments were given. Evaluation was done on this basis. I look after the PhD program. See what happens in the PhD program. Uh, the students are supposed to make frequent presentations before the advisory committees, and the more the frequent presentation you make, your ideas get refined. And these frequent presentations came to a stall after say 14th March. But then we took this opportunity. Why not to have the presence of the advisory committees through various platforms? We have used literally Google Meet, Zoom, Skype, WebEx, whatever. All these platforms we have used, and the regular monitoring presentations we have taken. By now we have taken more than 60 presentations.
Oh,
So
oh.
no
Mm.
student was at loss. No student was at loss. Rather, he could get the benefit of the feedback of members, the committee members, expert committee members, and then they could work on their research ideas because they have got a feedback
Mm.
or they have got some appreciation. Even the YOC examinations, the UGC has also said that UGC has been very proactive. UGC has given a go ahead that don't stop the progress of your student, conduct their YY examination through online platform.
Mm-hmm.
We had to work on extra record keeping, keep a record of audio visual, get the consents and
Mm-hmm.
get the verdicts from the examiners and other committee members by email, make us such a wonderful record that no anytime it is auditable.
Right.
So I have been very proactive, and in fact I do not have any student whose Viva is left out as of now. We have completed all the Viva examinations. Uh, at the ease of the time of student and the faculty
Super.
members, including the experts, and the benefits are passed on to my students.
Excellent. Excellent.
I
Now,
feel satisfied about it.
excellent. So we were discussing about kind of a brainstorming that you had been doing for certain things which are not there in this education system,
Yeah,
and you have been for some internship for the
yeah.
industry. So
Okay.
maybe
So once again, I will now connect back to the SDP kind of thing. In fact, a graduate student, no, because the student means PhD students are very less in number. Hardly 1%, 2% students finally go for a PhD degree. Majority of the students in our country are undergraduate students.
mm,
So those who are brilliant, they go for undergraduate, and they normally in BITS Pilani, where I was a faculty, they were saying that no, all the undergraduate students are above average students. All the postgraduate students are average students, and all the PhD students are below average students.
ah,
So yeah, correct.
okay.
So the undergraduate students are having very high level of energy,
Ah,
and they can do miracles. Okay? And if you look at the mass education in our country, uh, these undergraduate students really require a different way of teaching. And rather, I will not say teaching; they must be given an opportunity to learn. And the educators are basically motivators, facilitators,
mm,
so that the students learn on their own. Typical engineering student, undergraduate engineering student, is supposed to learn something on his own, some fundamentals in the classrooms. Then
mm,
some internship is to be done, maybe in the second year, maybe in the third year. And many institutions have been practicing sandwich pattern, practice school, internship program, one semester in industry program,
mm,
or one semester abroad program. So typically 6 months program is being practiced by many leading universities in the country as well as abroad.
okay.
I was part of those kind of systems. Uh, However, what I would suggest is if the institutions make the internship as an institutional arrangement between the industry and the academia,
Mm,
then the industry will be benefited by you. They will be getting a manpower which is young, dynamic, ready to do anything new, and the industry does not have to pay them much, so they are not
mm,
really the burden, financial burden or human
mm.
resource burden on them. Rather, 5, 6 interns are 5, 6 minds available with the industry.
Right, right, right.
So this way, if you look at the internship, the only trouble in this situation is it's very difficult to institutionalize the industry institute relationship.
Right, right.
Normally, institutions do is they say just you find out an industry for you and go and do the internship over there. I would suggest, and we have been practicing in BITS Pilani for a very long time. At the end of second year, 2 months institutionalized industry internship program, which is called as practice school. What is a practice school? The
Mm,
student is in the home. He is nurtured by the teachers nurtured by parents, taken care by the parents when they are in the house. Their care is taken by the teachers when they are in first year and second year. Now, when to give them exposure to the rest of the world?
mm,
So at the end of second year, maybe at the end of third year, let us expose the students for 2 months with the institutionalized industry internship program so that they get acquainted to the rest of the world. They develop smartness.
right, right.
Smartness means negotiating skills, talking skills with the people. At least they get to see the system, best
Mm,
of the machines, best of the technology, best of the communication platform, even offices. They can get to see in second year, and then they are really to some extent ready for rest of the world. So I would relate it to the lockdown or the
mm,
opening of lockdown. See, we are not opening up the lockdown suddenly. We are
okay.
exposing the people slowly. So why
Right.
not to expose our student to the world of work slowly by having industry institute partnership, which are institutional partnership.
Mm,
So that way we can take the benefit, and we have been doing it. Then comes the final year partnership or sandwich pattern or one semester abroad program, wherein the student can be really useful to the industry per se. Is additional manpower with the industry. The student
mm,
gets benefit of working on certain innovative project.
Hmm.
The manager in the industry gets extra working hand, and he gets a brilliant working hand at no cost.
Right.
So if we work out this, the only thing which I would suggest to my those who are listening to this video, either live or recorded, is
Hmm.
try to institutionalize it. Then the industry will be benefited, the academia will be benefited, and the student who is struggling to get the real life skill will be also.
Wonderful. So what you're saying is a closer association of industry and academia, where all the programs that industry needs as in the form of students as a raw material gets tuned. The raw material gets tuned to what the industry is requiring in the form of skill sets, in the form of competencies, in the form of learnings that they need to have. Maybe it is going to have some kind of a specific training that the students might require. Maybe it is in the form of some center of excellence or some differently
Possible.
designed curriculum courses. I think
Correct,
that is
correct.
something that you are saying here. Very important.
So that also has been tried by some institutions, but then if it becomes a practice, then it will be better. See,
Mm,
if industry which has been doing excellent in a particular area, if they establish center of excellence in some selected universities and institutions, then the industry people can leverage the knowledge and the skill set they have got with the students. Students will have got industry connect, and the need of training the students, retraining the students will
mm,
be reduced to a great extent. It will save on the cost of manpower training. The industry wants a trainable manpower, basically.
mm.
So why not to make it as a part of the regular graduate program?
So it will be a focused
I am
program
of the
where.
yeah yeah
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
I am of the belief that also this may be given a thought by my colleagues in academia that a degree must come with a competency certificate, and a degree certificate given by the university must come with an expiry date.
mhm.
See, typically I am a mechanical engineer brought out in 90s.
Mm.
So we have never learned computers, or we have never learned CNC machines, etc. But if I am supposed to be employed, I must have an extra competency certificate, even if I am in
Mm.
industry or even if I am in academia. An
Mm.
engineering degree must come with an expiry date. That is my belief.
Very, very innovative. Very innovative. I think it is a very hatke thought, uh, doctor. And so moving on, I see a lot of energy that you possess, the positivity that I have been experiencing. So how do you keep yourself, up and charged up and pumped up? Because you have not only you, but all the other professors around you, and also the students, and it would be really difficult, right? Coping it up.
Basically, one has to be self-motivated to
Mm-hmm.
keep the energy level high.
Mm-hmm.
E- Even you'll have to uh, you have to basically devote the time very rationally. You
Okay.
have to devote some time for yourself. So maybe some yogic practices, some sports.
Mm-hmm.
If you are doing it, then it will be keeping your energy level high. Then, if you are continuously reading, you will be always getting new thoughts. And if you are as an educator, if you are reading and you are getting new ideas from interacting and reading, then you will be definitely motivated to tell it to others, because no teacher
Mm.
would like to keep the extra knowledge with him or her. So the moment you have got something extra with you, you are eager to tell it to others. That's how
Ah,
your energy level goes up.
wonderful. And anything like music that keeps you always
Okay,
connected.
I have missed out that part, but I am a very great fan of now Pandit Bhimsen Joshi ji.
Okay.
I have a good collection of Pandit Bhimsen Joshi. I love classical or semi-classical music,
Mm-hmm.
Sugam Sangeet basically. Film music also definitely, I am fond of film music. So music also gives us good amount of it.
Right. I think that is where the relief comes in the state's situation, where you have people around us thinking not so positive, and currently, that is the thing that I am finding that even in educational space, there is a little bit of lull. Questions like, how will our institution work? There are no students. Till now, we have not been educating them by remote sessions. There is a loss of around 40% of energy if I am trying to teach something. Anyway, if at all they are sitting next to me, sometimes they are sleepy, But here, if they are on remote session, how would I put that energy? So I think this energy must be coming in your,
No,
help.
there is a scientific thought behind it also. So it is a scientifically proven fact that best teacher, best student, and best atmosphere or best surrounding of teaching learning in the classroom. The efficacy of classroom teaching is not more than 10%.
Okay.
Okay. Now we cannot assume that all the good teachers will be available in all institutions. All the students may not be good, and the atmosphere cannot be good all the time. That means the efficacy of the teaching learning process can never cross 10%.
Right.
And why we should try and give a stress on this 10% efficiency more? Why don't we think of 90% of this thing which is available with us?
Why not? Yes.
So please try to learn new skills.
Mm.
And the institution should provide avenues for learning new skills. How to provide is the job left to the educators. In fact, the job of educator is not merely to teach or evaluate and wash hand at the end of the session. It's much more than that. So that's how I am suggesting that the arrangement should be made. In fact, I know Singapore National University or Nanyang Institute of Technology, there the classes are held for postgraduate students only for 1 hour or 2 hours in the evening.
Okay.
There are no classes. But if you want to attend 2 hours class or 1 hour class in the evening, full day you have to be busy. How to attend a class?
Yeah,
if that kind of situation is really thought by our undergraduate, postgraduate students, then they will be enjoying the class. And 90% of the efficacy, which are efficiency, which we are missing, we can capitalize on that. And learning can be done in houses, learning can be done in society, learning can be done by interacting with industry leaders, learning can be done even by interacting with the society. There is no stoppage of learning.
Wonderful. See, one dimension that I was also talking to other education experts is outcome-based model, in which the outcome-based or objective-based training and teaching, where you have specific outcomes that are designed not only for the course but eventually for every session. And there is a both directional evaluation where students also are getting evaluated while the teachers are also getting evaluated, and there is a degree of improvement from both the sides. So efficacy, as you were saying, not only about the environment, not only about the kind of curriculum that you set, but for the interaction between students and the teacher. So is that something that you are also promoting?
I have been practicing that. I've been practicing that for a long time, and I do practice. In fact, the entire education or the educators have to think about instructional design. The same curricula, how nicely you are disseminating the knowledge to your students. So everything comes to how nice is your instructional design. For something, maybe chalk and talk is the best method. For something, giving take home assignments will be better. So even your teaching system, evaluation system should be aimed at the entire thing boils down to the instructional design. I'll give one example here. Maybe those who are listening live and afterward they will find it interesting. There used to be a question paper for fuzzy logic in the BITS ME program. The question paper was take-home question paper. The question paper is displayed on the notice board 3-4 days in advance. You have to solve the question, the answer question paper, and submit the question. It's like your take-home assignment. Now the kind of problems they are the ask is give the solution to see the problems of roads available in India. So a student will give the solution by thinking the constraint from his mind. The other student will give the solution by thinking the constraint which he thinks they are to be considered. So all these solutions will be positive solutions. Somebody who gives a better solution will get a better grade. So why not to think like that?
Wonderful. Another dimension that I was also talking about is a kind of an incubation center where you have some new business ideas or new ideas that individuals want to experiment with. Not really going to the entrepreneur kind of level, but do you have a thought process of having some incubation center?
We have got a technology business incubation center funded by the DST. There is a separate person who takes care of that. But all good institutions must have a business incubator. In fact, again, if you want to generalize it, all the good institutions have stopped praising those who are doing jobs for others, who are working for others. So if I'm a graduate of an institution and working as a manager or engineer or commercial personality for some other institution, institutions have stopped praising them. Institutions have tried or no, they have started praising those working jobs to others. And with this kind of thing, we'll be getting the people, entrepreneurs. The startup idea is basically brought up by keeping that into picture. And miracles have been done. Ola Uber service is the outcome of the people who are thought innovative.
Right.
Bazaar, that we get grocery from. He is also our student. I have taught him. Then there is Food King Sharad Babu, who is having a chain of hotels in USA. His mother was selling idlis in Chennai. Now he is having a chain of hotels in USA. Even the Red Bus platform, the agents which we are now telephoning and booking the buses, now Red Bus platform was given by somebody, developed by some student. And in turn, they have given jobs to so many other people. Because the government will not be in a position to give jobs or government jobs to individuals. We have to make the business, we have to be such an innovative that we find out the jobs for others.
Right. I think there is a limit to which the corporate and the existing OEMs or companies that could provide the job, unless we start creating. So I think what you are suggesting is create an avenue. So by virtue of that individual going in business over a period of 5, 10 years, 8 years, he or she would have succeeded and have created, maybe 300, 500,000 jobs.
Correct.
I think that's the way to see where this not only the individual gets benefited, but the whole society, as well as those 300, 500 people gets that kind of opportunity.
We have never thought that medicines will be delivered at our doorstep.
Right.
We never thought earlier that grocery will be delivered. Definitely in pandemic, whatever was the inertia, people have overcome that inertia. Now it's a new business model which has come. So even delivering education was all over web platform was also not there before pandemic, but the pandemic has given us a great boost to that.
Wonderful. I think this kind of a platform would definitely help everybody who is coming there. Now, coming to a kind of a logical direction of a closure, but I wanted to definitely know, for yourself to keep yourself motivated, do you have any kind of a role model which helps you in difficult situations, or somebody that you bank upon? Fine, she is the one.
I don't have that way, because I am an educator. I am thinking of somebody who has been an educator, and he has been continuously delivering education irrespective of the age. So even my own PhD supervisor, I was fortunate to get Professor Ramchandran as a PhD supervisor, who was the general manager in IREDA, long corporate job. And even beyond 70s, he's keeping himself busy by reading continuously, interacting with young people. And the tagline which I started to begin with, sincere, dynamic, proactive, was given by none other than him. So he's my role.
Excellent, excellent. I think with that role model and being,
One more thing I would like to add, if there is
please,
some time. In
please.
fact, if you look at the students who graduate, see, you are getting employment on the basis of your educational qualification. So knowledge is very important. If you are in the institution, you are evaluated by your faculty members and the university, because how much education you have acquired. And we cannot acquire large amount of education because majority of the education is to be acquired in the world of work. But how sincerely you have acquired the education which has been imparted in the classrooms and in the university premises. So you go out of your institutions with good amount of educational qualification, excellent grading. And that's where the parents are also worried that my ward must get an A grade or first class degree or something like that. Once you are in the world of work, you are judged by the skill set.
True.
And your growth up to say vice president level or before the top position in the organization is decided by how much new skill set you acquire in your life. So education, that is knowledge, goes in the beginning of your entry into the professional work. Then comes your skill sets. But if you want to remain at the top, what is important is the attitude. There may be several managers, but one person will become general manager or one person will become president. Who will become president? The person with right attitude will become a president. The person with right attitude will become maybe the top person heading the state or heading the country per se. So knowledge, skill and attitude.
Wonderful.
So if you are thinking about that, then that will keep yourself motivated. Though there is a pandemic or there is no pandemic. This
Wonderful.
is universally true.
So nicely put. That reminds me of the Hatke network having health, attitude, technology, knowledge, and engagement. And those are the ones that you said should be part of any leadership to be really successful. In any case, to build his or her own tenacity or strength to move forward. I believe that's a strong message that we have. Any other message that you want to give as closing remark from your side, Doctor?
No, keep learning and don't worry about the pandemic situation. Education never stops. And any business may be finding ups and downs, but education and educating yourself will never be stopped. It will be continuously on as long as and it will keep us going.
Superb. So I'm so happy and fortunate to have you, and we must thank you for your time.
Thank you for opportunity.
Right, and with educators, enthusiastic, energetic, optimistic, and positive like you, I'm sure that the industry is definitely looking at the institutions like you, and so really, from our side, great regards to what you're doing. Plus, I would say a lot of wishes, best wishes for all the students, PhD students who are working with you, for you as their guide and as the head of research programs to be more and more successful, and the institute that you're working with, Symbiosis International Team University, to be prospering more and more.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
बिजनेस कोई भी हो, सक्सेस की नींव हम रखते हैं।
बुलंदियों को छूने की आपके अरमानों की उम्मीद जगाती जोत है, हर सपनों का हम स्रोत है।
सही स्ट्रेटेजी, परफेक्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग और बिजनेस ग्रोथ के लिए हम आपके साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर आपकी स्वप्न पूर्ति करते हैं। स्त्रोत कंसल्टेक, सिनर्जाइजिंग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन।